Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. May the divine lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Good morning to you all, and welcome to the online Sunday service. And in this service, today we have the lecture entitled From the Vedas to Vedanta. We all know the basic scriptures of Hinduism are the Vedas. And also the Vedanta or the Upanishads are also Vedas. So what do you mean by from Vedas to Vedanta? Vedas and Vedanta belong to the same huge tree of knowledge. So it is like, if we say just Vedas, mostly the volume of the Vedas is karma kanda, rituals, the sacrifice, fire worship, the hymns. Those form the main portion of the Vedas, the first portion. The latter portion or end portion of the Vedas is about the knowledge of the self, going beyond any desire. So how our scriptures take us from fulfilling the legitimate desires in the world to become free from desires. Why do they do that way? Why first they say that you have right to fulfill your desires. Dharma, artha, kama and moksha. These are called purushartha. These are called goals of life. A human being can have legitimate desire of artha and kama, can become rich, can aspire to enjoy the life in the world. But content within the aspiration of dharma are the guidelines, the morality, and also having the set goal, ultimate goal as moksha, as freedom, freedom from all these bondages. In it, it considers even the desires of enjoyment and desire to procure wealth and luxuries of life, comforts of life, also as bondage. Ultimately it binds, and bondage cannot bring happiness. This bondage, as Swami Vivekananda says, the bondage caused by iron chain or gold chain is same. So try to be free from all bondage. That is the message of the Vedas. So the journey of Hindu spirituality is from the Vedas, worshipping God with desire, performing sacrifice and rituals with legitimate, valid desires in a certain stage of life, and then transcending that, going beyond that, because that also doesn't fulfill, that also doesn't give the satisfaction in life, that also doesn't give satisfaction to the very core of our heart. And then we need to go beyond desires in search of knowledge which makes us free from all desires, all bondage, and we become Jivan Mukta or Videha Mukta. That Mukti is the song, is the very refrain of the song of Vedanta. So that's how the title says, From the Vedas to Vedanta. Vedas like the huge massive tree. Vedanta is the tip or culmination of this knowledge. The very word Vedas, we know, the students of Swami Vivekananda know that Vedas, no books are meant by the Vedas. The very word Vid means to know, the knowledge. And how this in knowledge, how these desires and the sacrifice and the fire worship, all this came in the Vedas. Because those are prerequisite for many. Unless you fulfill your desires, you will not go beyond desires, you will not transcend desires. That is one concept. Sri Ramakrishna says, when all desires are done, then one looks to desirelessness. One looks for realization of God. Before that, desires have to be fulfilled, either through experience or through understanding or viveka. Then one goes beyond all desires. So what the Vedas, as it is the word says, to know, the book of knowledge. And Vedas in Hindu concept is not something written, the book is written or given by someone. Vedas are like the breath of the eternal. And that breath of the eternal, in one of the Upanishads it is said, O Maitri, this Rig and Yajus are like the breath of the eternal that has been given to the sages who could find it, to whom it is revealed. And gives the example like a dump fuel, when it is given to fire, that the smoke and sparks come out of it. Like that, this truth of the Vedas and Vedanta, they came from the Supreme Being, call it Brahman, call it eternal, call it divine. From that it has come. These are the inspiration of the eternal. That is what the Vedas are. So we know that Vedas are a huge, vast mass of knowledge, not thought and created and written by some people. But it was revealed in the deepest thought, deepest meditation of the people called sages. In Sanskrit term, they are called rishis. The very word rishi means one who sees. What they see? The mantra. The knowledge of Vedas is called mantra, not sloka, not any text. They are called mantra. They are revealed, they are very sacred. As those of us, we know we have a mantra to repeat given by Guru. How sacred and secret is the mantra. Like that is the teachings of the Vedas. It is not ordinary teachings of like even it transcends in its sacredness and profoundness, even the teachings of Mahabharata or the Gita or the Ramayana. It goes beyond that because these are not composed by someone. It was not told, spoken by some human form. It came from the eternal, from the unknown and unseen, and revealed in the hearts of sages. And the sages then related that. After that, coming down from that deep meditation, when it was revealed, when they found, and it was all in their memory, and then they transmitted this knowledge to their disciples, and from their disciples, and that continued. How long ago? There are various views when these Vedas were originated, when it was revealed to the rishis. In one way, the Vedas are said to be Apaurushaya and Shaswata. They are eternal, as old as the creation. In fact, it is said, the glory of Vedas, it is said, even Brahma created this world by the knowledge of the Vedas. So because Vedas is knowledge, so Brahma has to have knowledge. The Creator, God, has to have knowledge how to create, what to create. That knowledge itself is Veda. So Vedas are so respected in Hinduism that even the created have done the creation by the knowledge of the Vedas. So to the message of the Vedas that have come up to us, where were they revealed? When did they come into existence? So different people, historians and those who try to find the age of the things that are not seen, not recorded, they try to say, some Westerns say it is like maybe 1000 BC to 1500 BC, like that they keep. But Hindus say no, it must be very old, very old. Some Hindus say it is from the beginning of the creation the Vedas are there. So when was it revealed? Swami Vivekananda was of the view that it might be between 8,000 years and 10,000 years that Vedas have been revealed to the humanity. That all rishis It came to them, Vishwamitra, Vasishtha, Agastya, all Satyakama, Aruni, all those were the people to whom Yagyavalkya, Vachaknavi, all this Maitreyi, Gargi, all these are the rishis, men and women, to whom these truths of Vedas were revealed. So this knowledge was all there. Then there came a great rishi during the Vedic times, and his reference is found in Mahabharata time also. The Vyasa, the great Vyasa, also called Veda Vyasa. Why Veda was attached to this person's name? The great teacher, whose birthday is celebrated as Guru Purnima. That great is Veda Vyasa, the Guru of all Gurus. That is Veda Vyasa. What Veda Vyasa? This very sharp, intelligent boy he was. He had knowledge of Vedas from very boyhood. He had the knowledge of such a profound memory. So what he did, he compiled all Vedas, wherever all over India the knowledge of Vedas was spread. He collected all those and then divided it into 4 parts. The one where there was mantras for offering the hymns, the richa, is called Rig Veda. And when those among the Rig Vedas which is used in offering to the fire, they call Yajur Veda, mantras. And some could be sung, could be put into meter and sung. So that was called Sama Veda, Sama Gayana, is beautiful musical Vedas, Vedas in music. This has been a tradition, the scriptures could be sung. This music and singing has been a great tradition with Hinduism, which later developed during Vaishnava period. And there was kirtanas and bhajans. In Sri Ramakrishna's life also, we find how much he used to love songs, devotional songs. He used to request, can you sing that song? And when someone started singing, he used to go into deep thoughts and he used to forget the surroundings and himself and go into samadhi just by listening to some songs. That was Sri Ramakrishna, how he made this singing so popular. But singing was not a recent time things in 19th century, 20th century. Even the Vedic period, Sama Gayana was there. With Veena they used to sing. This music also came with Saraswati, divine origin of music. So like that in Hinduism everything is very divine. And then Veda Vyasa did Rig Veda, the oldest scripture it is called, and then Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and that didn't fit into all these things. He put in the 4th Veda, it's called Atharva Veda. So there are 4 Vedas now we have. Even in the Yagyavalkya says about the eternal breath, Rig Veda, Rig and Yajus, like that, it is mentioned there. So there was the mention of these 4 kinds of Vedas even in the Vedas itself. And Vyasadeva actually they compiled into 4 parts, 4 types of this Vedas. Almost similar. And each Veda he again small portions, and he said there are 2 main portions of the Vedas. One is called Karma Kanda, another is called Jnana Kanda. And Karma Kanda was responsible for ritualistic worship. What was worshipped? There were no image worship at that time. What was worshipped was fire as the representative of the eternal. It was supposed when you offer oblation to the fire, it will be taken to the deities. In the Vedic time, the Karma Kanda time, more than Brahman, there was the mention of natural forces, and they made it humanized, or they gave the forms and the anthropomorphic forms as if they are the human being. They accept our oblation, they listen to our prayer, they grant us the favors. And what were the deities in the Vedic times? The deities were air, the wind god, fire god, and there is the water god, sun god, different god, natural forces become the object of worship and object of prayer to grant us good health and prosperity in our life so that we live happy in this life. That was in the Karma Kanda. And then there is Karma Kanda, it is not only about but also added when we go to heaven may be carried. So after that also we wanted joy, peace, prosperity, and that was the purpose of karma kanda. Recite the and it will grant the very the fruits and get what you want. Only your pronunciation has to be correct and all the methodology. Now this karma was divided. That is the Vedanta where we go. Now this karma kanda was we look at the trunk of the tree of the tip of the Vedanta. So this karma kanda was divided into three parts: Samhita portion, Brahmana portion, and Aranyaka portion. So this Samhita were the all mantras, the sukta there, all the praises to the deity, from Brahma to the air god. You see, you cannot find the Brahman, but you are the veritable, perceptible Brahman. I can feel you. You give me life. You are the very the Brahman for me. You are the ultimate reality for me. Like that, I can perceive Brahman. That's what Namaste, Vayo, like that they say. So all these were worshipped that way, and this all suktam or the prayers and the mantra all are in the Samhita portion of the Vedas, Karma Kanda of the Vedas. Then next portion is called Brahmana. Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka. Three make Karma Kanda or Veda, the ritualistic portion of the Vedas. These Brahmanas, in it was elaborate how to perform the yajna. What is yajna? Yajna is fire worship. The fire used to be lit on a very geometrically decorated, otherwise the fire receptacle was made, Agni Kunda, it has the perfection, measurement, angle, and geometrical figures, and on there is the elaborate description of that in the Brahmana portion. How to, where to sit, who will offer first. There will be 4 types of people who is to offer. It's called, main was to call Hota, one will really offer, some others will chant the mantras. All these are described in the Brahmana portion, how to perform a ritual of fire worship. It became a portion, big portion of the Karma Kanda. Brahmana, the mantra portion, the prayer portion, and the Samhita, the mantra portion, this mantra portion, prayer portion, and Brahmana, the ritualistic methodology, details. This became the Vedas. And to whom it is ascribed? It all came from the divine, that we say. It is not composed by someone, that someone said, oh, by measuring things we do that way. No, it was revealed to the rishis. Rishis don't claim that I thought it. It came into my mind. It is I who created this method of doing worship. No one rishis claim. So we call Vedas that Apaurushaya. It is not created by any Purusa, any being, any living human being. But there are the name of rishis. As I told, there is the name of Agni, Uddalaka, there is the name of, all these rishis are there. So, how this Saptakama, Vashishta, all these rishis name, the Vishwamitra, how this rishis name came if they are not the writer or creator? They say, no, we did not think. It didn't came by the way we thought. It was beyond that. It is not the process of our thinking. It was revealed to me. It just came. It has to be from the divine gift for the humanity, for the addition to the knowledge. That was their claim. Because they didn't think to write, oh, after that this will happen, after that this will happen. It just came to them. They do not claim that it was they who composed those rishis, those mantras. So that's why it is called, the Vedas are called Apaurushaya. It is not related to any human being. It is the divine gift, divine manifestation through those human beings whom we call rishis or mantra drashta, who just saw this thing. This mantra was seen as it were. It is not thought and it is not composed. They just saw it. So that is the concept of Apurusha. Then there is a portion called Aranyaka. After doing this, why was this thing done? In the Vedas it is said that there are 4 goals of life: dharma, artha, kama and moksha. You see, dharma is how we should live in this world as a human being. Our dharma as a human being is the dharma what will make us human being. If you go beyond dharma, if you don't follow dharma, you become less of a human being. You become animalistic, you become asuric, then you don't follow manava dharma. You are beyond, you are not following the dharma. So dharma is the one which holds you and makes you human being. Kind, compassionate, not stealing, not telling the truth. All these are the dharma of a human being. Being brave, protecting society, giving back to the society, all these become our dharma. What we should do as a human being living in the society or living in the forest, that is also dharma. If one wants to realize God, go to the forest. He cannot do anything what that person likes. There is a set of rules as a human being how he should behave. That is the thing. So that becomes dharma. Then dharma, artha and kama were legitimate. You enjoy the world and also you have the possession, what will make your life comfortable, that's fine. This artha and kama, guided by dharma, was the life of the karma kanda. Karma kanda says that. It didn't go beyond to moksha. But this, the life led of enjoyment and possession, controlled and guided by dharma, will gradually lead us to that end portion which will guide us to freedom or moksha. That was the goal. That's why this karma kanda is important for many people. It's not that Vedas karma kanda is not needed at all and we can jump to jnana kanda. Yes, some people have already performed their karma. Their desires are finished in their past lives. That they have born with such a prarabdha that they don't have any desire to enjoy the world. So they aspire for knowledge. All this karma kanda, this finishing having the desires all done previous life, then they can directly go to jnana kanda, pursuit of moksha. So this is that. Now the third portion of this karma kanda or word portion is aranyaka. Aranyaka, again, as there are 4 pursuits of life, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, there have been described in the Vedas 4 stages of life. The human life should have 4 stages. It is not always you will enjoy. There is a time for enjoyment, there is time for study, and there is a time when you strive for moksha. Ultimate goal of human life is moksha. You have to get yourself freed from the bondage of this samsara. Born, dying, sasyamiva martya pachyate, sasyameva jayate puna. We don't want that as a corn. It grows, you put the corn seed in the field, it again grows, produces many corn seeds, some are eaten by the human beings and living beings, and the rest you pour again it brings fruit and corn. So like that, is the human life like that? It is born, does some work, dies, again is born like a plant, like a corn. Sasyameva martya pachyate, sasyameva jayate puna. No, it is only for those who are in bondage. We want to get rid of that bondage, this cycle of death and birth, going on without any purpose it seems. Little joy that we find in human life, a lot of sorrow and anxiety, trouble, all this goes on. Little joy comes and you forget. Like that story that one person was being chased by an elephant, mad elephant, and how to save it was becoming very fast. And it went and he found a well. Somehow, to save itself, it jumped into the well and found the well was very deep. Somehow he could hold, before going down, it could hold a plant that was growing on the inner wall of the well. And there, he looked down at the well, it it was dry and there were poisonous snakes. And that plant he was holding somehow. Saw up above the well, that elephant was there. And to his surprise, how long he can hold that plant like that, that small bush like that which is growing on the wall of this well. To his surprise, he found there were rats. The rats were gnawing on the branch that he was holding. One was a black rat, another was white rat, and it was eating. The branch was becoming thinner, and it will break any time, and it will get down to the well and will be eaten by the snake, or it jumps up and will be killed by the mad elephant. That is our life, always beset with the danger. What happens to this man? Suddenly in all this fear and danger and death near approaching, he finds there's something dropped on his hand, and he looked, what is it? And he saw up there was a beehive, and that was the honey dropped on his hand. And in that fearful state, he licks that honey and starts enjoying the honey. That is the enjoyment in life. And all is the danger and anxieties and worries. Still we run after the enjoyment. We know that our branch we are holding is being gnawed by the rat, black and white, day and night. Our life is being eaten. We are approaching death. Poisonous snakes are there to take us to other world, take us our life. And there is a mad elephant who may take us our life. So we are always beset in the danger. But little drop of honey, you said, how sweet it is. For how long and how much? That is our joy. That is the pursuit of our joy and enjoyment in this world. So the people who are wise, they know that there is no meaning in this life. We have to get rid of this. It's mostly it is suffering, very little joy is there. So they try to go beyond that thing. That's why the Sri says, Kaschid dhira pratyagatmanamaichad abrit chakshu amritattvamichan. Some wise person see this world. Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmano nirvedamayat. Saw the world and its activities. And he then was got with nirveda, with vairagya. There is nothing much to enjoy in this world. It is all beset with all suffering, all danger. There is nothing joy. It's very like that honey drop in that situation. So he became enchanted with this attraction of this world. Enjoyment of the world? No, these are not real enjoyment. They are suffering. Dukkham, dukkham, sarvam dukkham. That's what Buddha said. You see, it is enjoyment, it is joy. Buddha said, no, everything is dukkham. Even your enjoyment, there is dukkha in enjoyment, suffering in enjoyment. You are not seeing now, but it is going to give you enjoyment. Dukkham, dukkham, sarvam dukkham. That also Rishi said, in the Upanishad it says, after that, what to do, how to find that peace and joy. Then comes this Jnana Kanda, Upanishads, Vedanta. From this, after having enjoyed, now search for the joy. So this, I was talking about the 4 stages of life as prescribed by the Vedas. First is called Brahmacharya, the stage of a Brahmachari. Student, he wants to learn the things, gain knowledge from the nature, from the scriptures, from the Guru. This all knowledge will come. A rigorous study of the knowledge, deep thinking of this, and trying to understand how this human life is, what are its goal, what is the purpose of life, that all comes. So that is Brahmachari stage. So Brahmachari, after Brahmachari, the second stage is called Garhasthya. That when a person goes after he has learned the Vedas and knowledge from the meditation, through meditation and from the nature, and second stage is Garhasthya. He get married and a householder's life. In that life, he works hard, earns this life of producer, he produces grains or any other thing, and then increases wealth of the society, and that life is called Garhasthya life. So if a human life is 100 years, that time it was 100 years. Now also we are slowly going to the 100 years of our lifespan, going through our medication and antibiotics that is going on. So 80, 90 it goes. So 25 years, 1/4 of our human life was supposed to be devoted to gain the knowledge and train ourselves to how to live in this world. That was the life of brahmachari. Next 25 years, hard work, raising a family, making children, having progeny, continuing the creation, and then that was the life, you can say, enjoyment, life of greater responsibility for, and life of sacrifice, you can say, for the sake of the family and the neighbors and the world and the society. It is not only for enjoyment. Swami Vivekananda says, your life is not meant for enjoyment. You have been sacrificed from the very birth for the sake of other human beings, for the sake of the world. He says, Janma hoite bali pradatta. Oh, forget not India. You have been sacrificed from your very birth. The purpose of life is to live for others. Those who live for others, they live. Those who are selfish and want to live only for their own enjoyment, they are more dead than alive. That's what Swami Vivekananda says. When we work for others, we live. That is the life of Garhastya. You live for your spouse, for your children, for your parents, for neighbors, for the society. Produce, distribute, enrich. That is the reason. Garhastha Jivan. After you have lived a life of Garhastha for about 25 years, you are about 50 years of age, comes the third stage of life called Vanaprastha. Literally saying, going to the forest. Prastha means prasthana, go. Vana means to the forest. One who moves to the forest. That is, give responsibility to the next generation. Take off from your social responsibilities of your house, how to run that, and be free and get more time in prayer and meditation. Live with your family, with your spouse, but be less concerned with the duties of the world, responsibilities of the world. Now ultimate time is coming, death is approaching. Now you don't how much honey you will drop, you will taste at this time. This white and black rats are cutting the tree that you are holding. Life is getting shorter. Many 50th birthday, 70th birthday, happy birthday to you. But that is 1 year closer to death. It is not joyful. It is we are getting closer to death. You realize that, and then perform the things as told by the Vedas. Perform the life of a Vanaprasthi, detached from the work and responsibilities. Give your time, devote your time to much of your time to prayer, to reading nice books, reading the life of the saints and the incarnations of God. Read more scriptures, whatever you have, Bhagavatam, Mahabharata. Read the Vedas, story of the Vedas and Upanishad. Like that comes the Vanaprastha. When you gain more inner life, enrich yourself inwardly, still living in a house maybe, or going to the world, still provided by something, and that's called, and it's also long, like 25 years. You prepare for the final stage of life called sannyasa. Then you are supposed to be without any attachment to anything in the world. You then are alone, everyone. That's the ultimate stage of 25 years of next rigorous meditation, the total detachment from the world, and you get the ultimate goal of mukti. That is the concept of life, of human life according to the Vedas. Now, this karma kanda done. Aranyaka also karma kanda, when we pray to God, worship God, decorate God, and we read the scriptures, that is also karma kanda. Now comes, that is the whole of most of the Vedas is that. But the beauty of the Vedas, the ultimate of the Vedas, the end of the Vedas, that's what the Vedanta. Vedanta means that end of the Vedas remaining. Now movement from Vedas to Vedanta. Vedanta also a part of the Vedas, but it is the culmination of the Vedas. What Vedas want to speak in so voluminous thing in the beginning, that they have left the ultimate gist, essence, cream for the end, for the Vedanta. So movement from the karma kanda of the Vedas to the jnana kanda of the Vedas. And that is from karma kanda you go to Vedanta. Vedanta is the philosophy of Swami Vivekananda even like to say Hinduism. He said Hinduism is the name given by foreigners because we lived on the other side of those who lived on the other side of the Sindhu river. as we lived across the Sindhu River, those who lived other side of the Sindhu River, they called all of us who lived in India as the people who lived on the other side of Sindhu River. They called the Sindhu. And they couldn't, in their language, call Sa. And they replaced Sa with Ha. So instead of calling the people who lived on the other side of Sindhu as Sindhus, they called us Hindus. By them they meant Sindhu, the people living on the other side of Sindhu River. That is the people who live in India. So after that we started calling us Hindus, and then we also came to us and we also started calling us Hindus. That's why Hindus is very geographical name. Originally it is a geographical name. Swami Vivekananda says those who follow the Vedas and Vedanta as their primary scriptures should be called Vedantists or the followers of Vedika Dharma. That will be more appropriate than calling us ourselves Hindus. But that now Hindus' name have become common, the geographical term has become the people who follow particular tradition of faith, that's Hindus coming. So what happened after that, they called Hindus, and this Hindus word came to Greece, and they didn't pronounce Ha, and they pronounced A for Ha, and they started calling Indus, all from Sindhu River. And this Indus, they later on become India, and people living in India is called Indian. All this has come from the name of a river, or the people living on the one side of the river, great mighty Sindhu River. So that's why Indians all has connection with the Hindus. So Vedanta, the term Swami Vivekananda like, the people who follow this faith of the Vedas and Upanishads as Vedantists or Vedikas, that he preferred to a more appropriate word. So this Vedanta word came. So Vedanta technically is the end portion of the Vedas, and whole of this Hindu tradition, they follow the teachings of Vedanta as their ultimate authority. Vedanta is considered to be ultimate authority of everyone who follow Vedanta. And but later on it became smaller, segregated, became compartmentalized, and there came like the many Shaivites, Shaiva, Vaishnava, Tantrika, Shakta, those who followed, worshipped Shiva and followed some Shiva scriptures, Shaivite scriptures like Agamas, they were called Shaivites. They held Vedanta as the highest authority, but they had their own scriptures. Like Tantrika and Shaktas had Tantra, had Devi Mahatmyam or Chandi as their main scriptures. But they had Vedanta as the ultimate authority, everyone. The source, inspiration is from Vedanta, but they flourished as different branches. Like they become Vaishnavas, they had their own scriptures, Bhagavatam, Gita, Vishnu Purana, and they started worshipping mainly Vishnu and Narayana. And later on it became more diversified, came the avatar, Rama and Krishna, they all followed, became Vaishnavas. Then Vedanta, they said, are the people who follow the teachings of the Vedanta, where the reality, ultimate reality is infinite, it is formless, eternal truth. Those who pursue to know that ultimate reality are Vedanta. This is like it became, practically it became like this. Vedanta became a faith tradition in Hinduism. But what Swami Vivekananda wanted to say of the Vedanta, you see, wonderful Swamiji brought Vedanta this. This Vedanta, Swami Vivekananda used the word Vedanta to mean the basis of spiritual quest. He took Vedanta much broader. He took Vedanta even beyond the followers of Vedas. He said, Vedanta has no book, no special allegiance to any person, and no personal God. That much Swami Vivekananda said. He said Swami Vivekananda Vedanta included pure spiritual practice, and he said the Vedanta depends on the reality of existence of every one of us. That reality in us, that makes us Vedanta. The one who asks the question, deeper question, who am I? Tries to go deeper. Anyone professing any religion, any sect, doesn't matter. Those go deeper to ask, who really am I? That becomes the quest, the follower of Vedanta. Who is that really exists? Real existence, everything changing, goes to naught, is destroyed, dies. What is that really exists? And the question comes, what is the purpose of my existence? I come, live and then die. That everything finishes with my death of my body? So, to whom such question comes, each one you can call Vedantist. You can call those people who follow this as the followers of Vedanta. As it is said, Swami Vivekananda also emphasized that. That's why when Nachiketa went to Yama, he also said, some people say after the death, nothing remains. Some say there remains. What is the truth? Can you tell me? Like that, then Nachiketa requested to Yama that is there souls, there's some real existence that remains even after the death of the body, or nothing remains after the death of the body. Such question is the one who asks such question is a follower of Vedanta. Maybe you belong to any religion. That's what Swamiji brought Vedanta into that level. Swamiji's Vedanta means the essence of knowledge. It is not even only the end portion of the Vedas, not only the Upanishads, essence of knowledge. Of course, this what is contained in Upanishads is the essence of knowledge. But even if you have not read Upanishads, but you have gained essence of knowledge by going deeper into your heart, then you are follower of Vedanta. Vedanta, according to Swami Vivekananda, is the quest for spirituality. For everyone, it's very universal. Vedanta is the universal aspect. That's what Swami Vivekananda wants to speak about the Vedanta. In the words of Vivekananda, Vedanta has nothing to say against anyone, whether you are a Christian or a Buddhist, or a Jew, or a Hindu, whatever mythology you believe, whether you owe allegiance to the Prophet of Nazareth, or of Mecca, or of India, or of anywhere else, whether you yourself are a prophet, it has nothing to say. It only preaches the principle which is the background of every religion, and of which all the prophets and saints and seers are but illustrations and manifestations. Multiply your prophets if you like. It has no objection. It only preaches the principle and the method it leaves to you. Take any path you like, follow any prophet you like, but have only that method which suits your own nature, so that you will be sure to progress. These are the words of Swami Vivekananda. He said, Swamiji, according to Swamiji, it is this one eternal religion that is applied to different planes of existences, is applied to the opinions of various minds and various races. There never was my religion or yours, my national religion or your national religion. There is only one infinite religion existed all through eternity and will ever exist, and this religion is expressing itself in various countries in various ways. So Vedanta will inspire the person to know the truth. The truth, who am I? We can deny the existence of others. This world has its appearance, but no one can deny its own existence. That I am, that is self-evident. So to understand who really I am, this quest starts, and when that starts, it is Vedanta. Vedanta will inspire us to have that quest. And the student comes to in the Vedas, it is in Upanishad, Vedanta it is said, if the student comes to the teacher who was a realized soul, who has attained, who am I, he has understood, he says, Sir, can you teach me Brahman, the ultimate reality, the infinite reality? Can you teach me that? And the Vedas proclaim that ultimate reality cannot be taught, cannot be expressed. It has to be acquired yourself, you have to experience yourself. It cannot be taught, it cannot be, the knowledge cannot be transmitted, that of the Brahman. But the student, knowing that, said, can you do that? I'm very eager to know the ultimate reality. Can you teach me? Adihi bhagavo brahmeti. And how does the teacher say? He doesn't say, no, it is not realizable, you have to do yourself. He doesn't say that. He said, tapasa brahma vijigyasasa. Yes, Brahman can be realized. You can realize your own self, who are you. But you have to do it with spiritual practice. And that spiritual practice, he said, is tapas. Focus yourself in the inquiry, who am I? Am I this body ever changing? Am I these senses outgoing and getting weaker? Who am I? Do I live after this body dies? Then go deeper, think yourself, and by that tapas, by that constant and deeper thinking, Brahma vijigyasasya, know the Brahman. You will be able to know the Brahman. That says in the Gita later on. Uddharet atmana atmanam. You raise yourself by your own self. That is the capability, we have to be that. That is the message of the Vedanta. Lead a pure life of friendliness to all, of self-control, nothing wanting to enjoy the world. World has given a lot of things. Understand the nature and of the world, that is nothing to give. It is very valueless. It is nothing is there. No substance is there in the world. Know that through your experience and through your intelligence, and try to know yourself and raise yourself by yourself. That Sri Krishna says. It said one place, mat karma krit mat paramo. It says, man mana bhava mat bhakto madhyajima namaskuru. He says, worship me, come to me, whatever you do, offer that to me. By that, I will enter into you. But at other place, he said, you know yourself. It is possible to raise yourself. That's what Buddha taught. When Buddha was towards the end of his life of 80 years of a wonderful golden life in the world, that such person has rarely born. 2,500 years he is still living. And that Buddha, when Ananda said, what will happen to us when you are gone, Master? He said, Atma Deepo Bhava. Why you have to depend on me? You be a light unto yourself. Everything is within you. That is the message of Vedanta. You are divine by nature. You have all the possibilities. You can transcend all the ignorance and limitation of human being and become divine, manifested divinity in all your dealings, in all your behavior, in all your words and your word. Be fearless, be brave, and manifest your divinity, which divinity says, all this existence that you see is your own true self. There is no other. It is all you that appears as many as this universe. And it is realizable. It's not the word that is spoken by something. It is experienceable. You can feel that. It is feelable. So try to feel that, and that tapasa brahma vijigyasa. When one knows Brahma, it becomes like that. But you have to do spiritual practice for that, tapas for that. This tapas that was taught by the yogi, by the rishis in the Upanishads, that tapas is taught by Krishna, and later on as worship of God. Worship God. Have your own personal God. Have your own chosen ideal. That I like this ideal, Krishna, Ramakrishna, Jesus, any personal ideal. And meditate on that ideal and his life. In men or Divine Mother, Mother Sarada, meditate on that and read their life. What a glorious life they had. What a free they were from the compulsions of the world. Never the world could exert any influence on them. They were always free from the bindings of the world. Worship them. Be connected to them. Think of them. You will also break all the bondage, khandana bhava bandhana. You can break all my bondage and attachment to this world. Begin from there. And when you, with that help of your own chosen ideal, you start inquiring into the self, who am I? Then comes the illumination. Knowledge will come, and then you will realize, I am that being There is nothing besides me. Everything that I see around is my own self. Then what will happen if you find yourself in every being? As Sri Krishna says, those who see me in every being and himself in himself all beings, that person is not bound anymore. Atmaiva hi atmano bandhu, atmaiva ripuratmana, bandhuratma manastasya enatmaiva atmanajita. So the whole world becomes friendly if you could have self-control and you are not controlled by the world. Let me at the end say something about what Swamiji said about the Vedanta. This wonderful journey from knowledge to our responsibilities and duties, little of enjoyment if you have not finished, little of enjoyment, and then eschewing all that, transcending all that, getting to greater bliss, greater joy, and finding the Vedanta, the ultimate of the knowledge, the essence of the knowledge, and being free from all bondage of fear, attachment, and death. That's what the goal is. Let me at the end read from Swami Vivekananda on Vedanta. Swamiji said, in our country there is only this religion of Vedanta. Compared with the Western civilization, it may be said, we have hardly got anything else. But by the preaching of this universal religion of Vedanta, a religion which gives equal rights to acquire spirituality to men of all creeds and all paths of religious practice, the civilized West would come to know what a wonderful degree of spirituality once developed in India, and now that is still existing by the study of this religion. The Western nations will have increasing regard and sympathy for us. Already these have grown to some extent. In this way, if we have their real sympathy and regard, we would learn from them the sciences bearing on our material life, thereby qualifying ourselves better for the struggle for existence. On the other hand, by learning this Vedanta from us, they will be enabled to secure their own spiritual welfare. Swamiji wanted the Vedanta or the Vedas never say deny the world is nothing. It says you have been born. If you want to enjoy the world, you have a legitimate way if you want to do. Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarsava. I mean desire unopposed to dharma, that Sri Krishna says. This Vedanta or Hinduism also says you enjoy the world. You can do that. But keep your eye on the moksha, that is the ultimate goal. Here Swamiji says, the West lacks its real spirituality, but they are advanced in science and technology and material progress. That is also needed for the whole world. And the world needs spirituality. Without spirituality, the enjoyment becomes very burdensome. Only spirituality, no comfort in life, no life standard, living standard, that also becomes burden for many. Many people have desire they can't get. Why don't we share our knowledge of spirituality to the West and we gain what they have learned in material progress and whole humanity progresses. Vedanta to the West, science to the East. That was the concept. And the whole humanity will rise to a different level. That was Swami Vivekananda's message of Vedanta, the message of the age. Let whole humanity rise from where it is. The solution of Vedanta is that we are not bound. We are free already. Not only so, but to say or to think that we are bound is dangerous. It is a mistake. It is self-hypnotism. As soon as you say, I am bound, I am weak, I am helpless, woe unto you. You rivet one more chain upon yourself. Do not say it. Do not think it. So always feel that you are Atman, you are unbound, you are infinite. Nothing can bind you. Nothing can make you miserable. Stress, assert that divinity of yourself. You are already that. The Vedanta says, there is nothing that is not God. It may frighten many of you, but you will understand it by degrees. The living God is within you. And yet you are building churches and temples and believing all sorts of imaginary nonsense. The only God to worship is the human soul in the human body. Of course, all animals are temples too, but man is the highest, the Taj Mahal of the temples. If I cannot worship in that, no other temple will be of any advantage. The moment I have realized God sitting in the temple of every human body, the moment I stand in reverence before every human being and see God in him, that moment I am free from bondage. Everything that binds vanishes and I am free. The Vedanta was and is the boldest system of religion. It stopped nowhere. That is the height that Vedanta can take us, to worship every human being as God. What exists is only, binds together is only love, empathy, service, kindness, compassion. And imagine the heart of a person, the person who can stand in front of other person, doesn't consider good or bad, what is his character, how he behaves, how you behave, that is more important. Can you love everyone without judging another person? If you can love everyone without judging other person, you are seeing God in that person, you are worshipping God residing in that person's heart, and if we could do that, you are already liberated, have attained moksha, that which Vedanta promises. And Swami Vivekananda says, you don't have to attain moksha, you are already mukta. You are only hypnotized to identify yourself as individual soul, individual being. Break that hypnotism, go beyond that, and feel that God that resides in you, resides in everyone, and you worship everyone. Jibi prem kore jaijon, seijon seviche Ishwar. Just love all, hate none, and then you are free. That freedom that you are, the free that you are, you experience that freedom while living, dealing, behaving in the world, while working with all challenges in life, but you will be never cowed down, bogged down, afraid, worried. You will be never in hypertension, no tension at all. Why to say hyper? If we could love everyone as the temple of God. That is the promise of Vedanta, and the Vedanta is taken to that height by Swami Vivekananda, which embraces all. It transcends even the Vedas, and it includes whole humanity into its fold. As Sri Ramakrishna said, what I have experienced has gone beyond the Vedas and Vedanta. And Swami Vivekananda's Vedanta goes to that level, which doesn't exclude anyone in this whole universe, anyone, and includes everyone. Thank you very much. Om. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jananim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Pada Padme Tayo Shritva